Astronauts in orbit aren't weightless because they've escaped Earth's gravity, they're weightless because they're constantly falling. The International Space Station orbits at 400 kilometers up. Most people think that's far enough to escape Earth's gravity, that astronauts have finally broken free. But here's what the math actually shows: gravity at that altitude is still 90% as strong as it is right here on the ground. If you weigh 200 pounds, gravity is still pulling you with 180 pounds of force up there. The ISS isn't in some gravity-free zone. It's in the same gravitational field as you are. So the weightlessness astronauts experience isn't because gravity vanished. It's something else entirely. Here's what's actually happening 400 kilometers up. The International Space Station and every astronaut inside it are falling toward Earth right now. They have been falling continuously for decades. But here's the catch: they're also moving forward at 28,000 kilometers per hour. So they fall toward the planet, but by the time gravity pulls them down even slightly, the curvature of Earth has curved away beneath them at exactly the same rate. They miss. Then they fall again. Then they miss again. This repeating cycle of perpetual falling is orbit. Now imagine you're in an elevator and the cable snaps. As you plummet downward, everything inside that elevator, you, a pen, a glass of water, falls at precisely the same acceleration. Relative to the elevator, nothing is moving. The pen doesn't drop. The water doesn't spill. You float. You don't feel weightless because gravity has vanished. You feel weightless because there's nothing pushing back against gravity anymore. On Earth, the ground beneath your feet constantly resists gravity's pull. That resistance is what we experience as weight. In orbit, there is no ground. There is no resistance. Only falling. The astronauts aren't escaping gravity. They're surrendering to it completely, and in that surrender, weight disappears. Here's the psychological trap: your brain has never experienced gravity as a force. Not once in your life. What you actually feel is resistance. When you stand on the ground, you feel the earth pushing up against your feet. When you sit in a chair, you feel the chair pushing up against your body. Gravity itself is invisible to your senses. Your nervous system only detects the normal force, the pushback from whatever surface is supporting you. This is why the weightlessness misconception is so seductive. For your entire evolutionary history, humans lived in one context: solid ground. Your brain developed intuition based on that single experience. Gravity equals the feeling of weight. No feeling of weight equals no gravity. It's simple. It's intuitive. It's completely wrong. In orbit, astronauts still experience Earth's gravitational pull, that 90% we mentioned, but there's nothing pushing back. The ISS orbits so quickly that it's constantly falling away from beneath them at exactly the rate gravity is pulling them down. No resistance. No normal force. No sensation. Your brain encounters this unprecedented situation and reaches for the only explanation it knows: they must have escaped gravity entirely. The absence of support gets misinterpreted as the absence of force. And that's how a fundamental misunderstanding of physics becomes common sense. So here's the one-line truth that reframes everything: weightlessness isn't freedom from gravity. It's the shared experience of falling. Think about it this way. Gravity is always pulling you toward Earth's center. On the ground, the floor pushes back against that pull. You feel the force of that push, and your brain interprets it as weight. But the moment that push disappears, the moment you and everything around you fall at exactly the same rate, there's no force pushing back anymore. The astronaut, the spacecraft, the tools floating around them, they're all accelerating toward Earth at the same speed. There's nothing to push against, so there's nothing to feel. It's not that gravity stopped working. It's that everyone in the ISS is experiencing the same downward acceleration together. That alignment, that perfect synchronization between the pull and the fall, creates the illusion of weightlessness. It's a psychological and physical state where the force pulling you down and the platform supporting you become one and the same. Once you understand that, the whole mystery dissolves.